it's not uncommon for me to get messages this time of year like, yo, my skin is freaking out. What do I do? And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, welcome to winter. Your skin might be feeling dry or sensitive, or like your face just needs a blanket. And that's totally normal. Winter changes the light, it changes the circulation in your skin, it changes your digestion, the hydration levels, the air outside, and your skin is going to feel all of that. So, this episode is meant to be your guide to get you through this with your skin feeling as comfortable and, dare I say, juicy as possible. You are listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern vitality. If you are seeking to reconnect with your innate vibrancy, you're in the right place. I'm Emily Davis, a seasoned holistic esthetician and herbalist. Join me as we unlock the secrets of ancient skincare practices, explore the beauty of seasonal and nature-based living, herbalism, and true holistic well-being for you and the broader ecosystem. This podcast is brought to you by Stratum Aesthetics. Head to stratumaesthetics.com to find curated skincare, body care, and other wellness products hand-selected by me. Now enjoy the show. Please remember that the information I share in this podcast is based on my personal and professional experience and is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not individualized skincare advice, nor is it medical advice. I encourage you to take charge of your own health decisions and listen to your body, seeking out the resources and professionals that best support your wellness journey. Okay, so why does our skin freak out during the winter? Why does it get so dry? Why does it look more dull? Why is it more sensitive? And to explain this, as a holistic esthetician, I want to first talk about the ecology of the seasons outside of our window, because we are a microcosm of the macrocosm. We're a reflection of what's happening within the seasons that we live in. And our bodies have evolved over thousands of years to react to the season that we're in. And so although we are cozy, comfy, warm inside of our temperature controlled boxes, our body is still going to react to the seasonal changes, the changes in light, the changes in the air that are happening. So in the winter, we're going to have lower humidity, we're going to have sharper winds, we're going to have colder air, but then we also potentially have warmer air inside. And so we're going from that cold air outside back into the warm air inside. And then the heating systems in our house are going to drop the humidity in the air as well. We also have diminished sunlight. We've got longer nights, shorter days, and with this comes a melatonin dominance. And so with a melatonin dominance, we're going to see just an uptick in natural drowsiness, and our body recognizes this even if our culture and our schedule doesn't really recognize it. Our appetite is going to decrease naturally in the winter, and so our body does actually want less food. It wants to be eating less because that digestive fire is slowing down. Again, this isn't something that our culture necessarily recognizes, especially during holiday season, but it's what our body is asking for. It's asking for less food, warm cooked food, lots of nourishing oils, which I'll talk today about how it's just so cool. Ever since I got into seasonal living, understanding that what nature is providing, what foods are seasonal in the area that you live, are probably exactly what your skin needs. And so today I am going to talk, of course, about some topical strategies for all of these, I don't know, obstacles, I guess we could call them, that we're facing in the winter, but I am also going to discuss some lifestyle strategies that we can do to support our skin from the inside out and the outside in. All right, so what are we actually noticing on our skin? You may see more redness or sensitivity. It may feel more dry or dehydrated. The texture could be rougher. Maybe it looks duller and a little bit less luminous. You might also see more congestion in your skin, like in the form of blackheads or clogged pores. And none of this is your skin being bad or a malfunction. It's all normal response to the ecology that it's experiencing. And the reason that we're seeing what we're seeing on our skin is because it's conservation, it's survival logic. Your skin is pulling everything inward, just like outside. Trees are pulling all of their sap inward, and this is to conserve energy so that we're not outputting energy on peripheral parts of the body like the skin, because like I said, we've evolved to conserve our energy for survival mechanisms, for core warming, for brain function, things like this. And so it's extra important that we're caring from our skin from the outside in, especially in the winter when our body's not necessarily giving it all of its energy, all of its attention. We can do that topically. The biggest reason that we're seeing changes in our skin is because we have decreased circulation. So with the cold, our blood vessels are going to constrict just a little bit, and that means that less blood flow is going to come through. We also have less light, and that means that we're going to have less nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a molecule that's vasodilating. It helps the blood flow to come through. And so all of this microcirculation in our skin is bringing the nutrients. Blood carries the nutrients that our skin cells eat and feed on so that they can function and look amazing and feel juicy, and we just have that plump, glorious glow on our skin that we're looking for. And when we don't have the blood flow happening, we're going to see dullness. Maybe our skin looks a little bit more pale. The next thing that happens is we have slower skin cell turnover. I've talked a little bit about skin cell turnover in recent podcast episodes. And basically what skin cell turnover is we have our baby cells at the very bottom of our skin layers. They're formed at the bottom. And as these babies grow, they're going to actually flatten and dry out, and they migrate up to the surface. They're comprising different layers as they migrate, and they become the surface layer at the very end. As new skin cells are forming and pushing up, they're going to slough off, and then a new one is at the top. So that's our skin cell turnover. That's very important because as we age, it slows down, and slower skin cell turnover can look like, again, duller skin, flaky texture. Maybe we have more visible fine lines. And the reason that this slows down in the winter is, again, because of that reduced circulation. We don't have the nutrients coming to new skin cells to form them. So we're going to have slower skin cell turnover. We also have oil flow that slows way down. This also has to do with circulation. It has to do with our digestive fire slowing down. And so we have less nutrients being assimilated and turned into oil to protect our skin. And this is important because the oil for our skin is its lubrication. It's also a seal that keeps hydration in the form of water from evaporating. And it's also going to be there to protect from like that wind, that sharp wind that we feel in the winter. And so with slower oil flow, we're going to see more skin sensitivity. We also will see more congested pores because basically that oil gets stuck in the pore and it's not flowing through. And that's how you see more blackheads during the winter. Okay, so this is a lot of technical, I'm giving you a little miniature esthetician school breakdown of what happens to your skin in the winter. I hope that your eyes aren't glazing over yet. We have just a couple of more things that I want to cover as to like why what's happening is happening before we can talk about the strategies. So the next thing that I want to talk about is that barrier. So our barrier is one of the biggest pillars for healthy skin. It's like this seal of both lipids and sweat on the surface of the skin that helps to protect the skin from outside invaders. Again, it's our barrier to the outside world, but it's also sealing water into the skin. When we don't have a good seal, water actually evaporates out of your skin. And you're going to see that happening even faster if you're like me in a climate like Colorado or somewhere else that's very arid. What happens when this water evaporates out of our skin is it starts to feel very dehydrated. We're going to see much more fine lines, wrinkles. Products don't work as well. Maybe products start to feel a lot more stingy on the skin, and it just feels more irritated and sensitive. Another reason that we have barrier vulnerability in the winter is because our circadian disruption. So like I said, in the winter, the light is lower. We are more in a melatonin dominance time. What happens when we have longer nights is that we have so much more opportunity for repair. And you might be thinking like, oh, that's awesome. Like I'm getting more skin repair, then why is my skin more sensitive? The reason that we actually see more disruption is because it's much more common to be not respecting our circadian rhythm, especially in the winter. I mean, think about it. I get off of work around 6 or 7 at night. In the summer, that's fine. You know, I can drive home, I come home, I make dinner still, and there's plenty of light. I can see what's happening. But in the winter, it's like 4:30 and the sun's going down. And by the time I get home from work, I've had to drive home staring at all of these bright lights. I get home and I still need to make dinner, and I have to make dinner with the lights on. Maybe there's a TV show on that I want to watch, or maybe I want to get a little bit more work done. Suddenly, I'm now exposed to all of this blue light that's signaling to my body that it's noon in the middle of summer. And my body thinks that, oh, well, it's not time to repair. It's time to be doing the daytime things. And so by the time I'm going to sleep, I'm getting actually less time for repair than I would be if I were supporting my circadian rhythm and not living a normal modern life doing the things that I need to do. And so this can actually be pretty harsh on the skin. We need more repair in the winter because of all of these other things happening, but we're actually getting less of it. And so because of all of this, winter is going to ask for some very intentional, both topical support and behavioral change. So with that being said, let's talk about some strategies that we can incorporate so that we can support our skin during this time. The first and foremost one is to cleanse less. I feel like this cleansing less, skin minimalism thing has really been catching on, and I'm so happy because so often recently when I've been seeing new clients, they're telling me that they only cleanse once a day. And so I love hearing that. If you're cleansing more than once a day and you're feeling like your skin is dry, try backing off a little bit and start to only cleanse in the evening and see how that does for you. Everybody's going to be different and it's not for everyone, but I would say like 7 out of 10 people who start doing this are happier with the results for their skin. And on the topic of cleansing, we definitely want to be avoiding anything that's foamy or like anything that leaves your skin squeaky clean or feeling very matte afterward. I love a cream cleanser. I love a cleansing milk, a cleansing balm, cleansing oil. All of these are going to be really supportive, especially if your skin is feeling really dry. I do love the Blissoma free cleansing gel and makeup remover, especially if you're somebody who wears a lot of eye makeup. That one is a gel, but it feels like an oil when it goes on. It's so interesting. And it has all of these beautiful botanicals that help to support healing and integrity of the barrier. You can find that and all of the products that I mentioned today on my curated online skincare apothecary. I'll put the link in the description below. I also love an oil cleanser. If you do wear a lot of makeup, oil cleansers are makeup removers as well. Oil cleansing is tricky though, because some oil cleansers are actually quite stripping. And I know that it sounds crazy, like an oil should only be replenishing the skin, but I do find some specific oils to be a little bit more drying. And so just checking the formulation, if you have an oil cleanser and it feels like your skin is dry and depleted, you might try a more occlusive oil cleanser, something that has a little bit more substance to it. I do love the Laurel oil cleanser for that type of a situation if your skin is really, really dry. I also love that cleanser because it's going to increase circulation. It has black seed oil and tamanu oil in it, and the two of those are warming oils, meaning that it's going to increase circulation when applied topically. So I really love that. I also love the two Laurel cream cleansers. This is a mixed review from many people. Some people don't like them because they do not remove makeup whatsoever. And I agree with that. But they almost, to me, feel like I'm putting a moisturizer on my skin and then cleansing. It's more of a treatment than just a regular cleanser would be. So I really, really love both of those. Again, they're in my shop. I think that they're high quality and a perfect solution for if you're feeling dry and sensitive and like you just need a little bit of extra oomph for your skin. So that's cleansing. Just stay away from harsh stripping cleansers during the winter. Live Botanicals does carry a cleansing balm. I don't have that in my shop right now. I don't think that they've come out with it yet this year. But a cleansing balm is another beautiful additive to your winter routine. It's going to be a little bit thicker. Anytime you're using a balm, this is going to be a solidified oil. It's going to have a wax in it or some type of a hard butter that's going to make it more solid. And what that does is it holds things on the skin longer. So if you're using a balm as a moisturizer, which we'll get to, it's just going to create a little bit of a seal and allow all of the nutrients that are in that product to hang out on the skin longer. If you're finding that your skin is more sensitive, that it's feeling really flaky, this may be a time that you want to reduce exfoliation like alpha hydroxy acids and retinoids, the type of exfoliation that's going to be barrier stripping. Instead, I like to switch to an enzyme because an enzyme is going to be much gentler. It's not going to strip the barrier. It's not going to impair the skin's microbiome, which is a whole other aspect of skin protection that we want to keep on the skin. I recently did an episode or a series, I guess, all about retinoids. I talked about what retinoids do. I also talked about natural alternatives to retinoids. And so if you're stepping away from your retinoid products, you may check out my episode all about the natural alternatives to retinoids that may be a little bit more gentle for your skin during the winter. My next strategy is face steaming. So, face steaming is just like what it sounds like. You are going to get some type of a steam. You can find this all over the internet if you look up face steams. I was at my local apothecary the other day and I got this great little face steam that has, let's see, rose, chamomile, lavender, calendula, rosemary, and elderflower. I wish smell-o-vision was invented already because this smells so good. She uses the most vibrant, beautiful, fresh, harvested herbs. And I just love these ingredients for a face steam. You could order them separately and make your own steam. I like to get herbs from Mountain Rose Herbs if I'm shopping online. But you would basically just mix them together, put them in a little jar like this one. And I would take, let's see, so her recommendation is 2 tablespoons in 8 ounces of boiling water. So you would just put this into a bowl with boiling water from the kettle and then steam for like 10 minutes or so by placing your face over the bowl and then putting a towel over your head to capture that steam. Other ingredients that I really like, if you're acne prone or if you just have like some type of a respiratory bug happening, I love any type of aromatic mint like thyme or oregano. Sage is a great one. Rosemary. All of these are going to help with reducing bacterial overgrowth, especially for breakouts. It's going to help with balancing that microbiome. And the little molecules that make the smell for these aromatic mints actually travel up into the steam and they penetrate your skin and help to kill that bacteria on site, which is pretty cool. So if you are suffering from acne where you have a lot of infection happening, any of those fresh herbs are beautiful. You can get them in the produce section at the grocery store or grow them in a box on your windowsill. Face steams are just amazing because they're going to be increasing that circulation at the surface of the skin where we're seeing it decreased. And they're going to add a little bit of hydration. They're going to add some warmth, which is going to help open and release jaw tension or tension in the muscles. It's a really wonderful way to prep the skin for the next products that you're going to apply. So face steaming, I think once a week is pretty appropriate for that. It's just a nice time to get quiet with yourself, to not be looking at your phone, to just have some meditative, contemplative time. And then you can finish that up with my next suggestion, which is face massage. I always am going to recommend face massage regardless of the season, but especially in the winter, getting that microcirculation happening on the skin, supporting oil flow, supporting skin cell turnover. These are all benefits of face massage. I could just sing the praises of face massage all day long. I think it's so supportive to your skin. One of the most important things that you can do for skin health and for the appearance of your skin. I do offer a live facial massage workshop where I teach you all of the different techniques for supportive face massage. That happens in the fall and the spring. But I have a little surprise. This is the first time I'm mentioning it. I'm actually working on an evergreen facial massage program that you will be able to purchase any time of the year and access whenever you want. So if the live face massage workshop isn't the best fit for you, or if you've participated in the workshop but you want some support throughout the rest of the year, that program is coming up soon. I am starting a wait list for it, so sign up for that wait list in the link in the description so that you don't miss out. That should be up within the next, couple of months or so. I want to make sure that it's perfect before I release it, but I'm so very excited because facial massage is so magical. And I just feel like this is, just like I said, one of the best supports you can do for your skin during the winter. The next strategy that I have is making sure that you have a humidifier going in your home during the winter. This is something that I talk to every single client about. Again, we're in Colorado. It's highly arid here. But if you're feeling really dry and really dehydrated, running a humidifier that you make sure to clean regularly at night is going to be such a game changer for that loss of humidity that you may be experiencing in your skin. With that being said, I love both balms and hydrosols together as your moisturizer during the winter. So like I said, a balm is going to be a solidified oil. And when you mix a hydrosol with that, now you've added a water component, and your skin always needs both oil and water. We don't want to just be putting a balm on the surface without adding that water component as well. And so both of these together, I personally love the Laurel balms. The Laurel Night Balm and the Laurel Recovery Balm are my absolute favorites. And with this, the Laurel Elixir #1 is my favorite for the winter, and you can find these on my shop. And then my final strategy for topical support is get yourself a really good sleep mask. So a sleep mask is basically a skincare mask that you can sleep in. My favorite is the Lavish Recovery Mask from Blissoma, also in my shop. I love this because it has an ingredient called beta-glucan. And this is a component that's found in both oats and mushrooms. And it's just such a beautiful ingredient for supporting the barrier, for reducing skin sensitivity. I did this mask last night. And so you just apply a thin layer to your skin and then hop into bed. And I noticed that even after 15 minutes, I didn't want it to feel really gooey, obviously, on my sheets. And so I touched my skin and it had already absorbed and it felt so good. And I was like, whoa, my skin just totally drank that in, but I feel like I have this thick, luscious moisturizer on the surface. And then when I woke up this morning, my skin just felt so good. It felt so hydrated and plump. And this is how I feel every time I do this as a sleep mask. So find yourself a really lovely mask that you can sleep in once a week. That would be so perfect to do after you do your face steam, your face massage, and then just go to bed with a sleep mask. And that truly is like getting a professional facial, and you wake up and your skin just looks so good. So those are your holistic topical strategies for your skin for the winter. Let's finish up with just a few lifestyle strategies that we can incorporate so that we are supporting our whole body. And what that's going to do is reflect on our skin, because our skin's a barometer for what's going on inside of our body. First thing is prioritizing sleep and rest. Like I said, we have lower light in the winter, and that happens for a reason. We have this long stretch of lower light so that our body can actually recover from that long stretch of higher light when we're out being more expansive, maybe being more social. We don't have sunset until like 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night. During the winter, our body needs recovery from that summertime living. And so prioritizing rest and sleep is going to be so supportive. We have that melatonin dominance happening during this time for a reason. And so that might look like not watching TV late into the evening and trying to get to bed before 10 p.m. Maybe that looks like using strategies like blue light glasses that can help support so you're not looking at the blue light from your screens, from the lights in your house. I have a whole episode about circadian living that I'll put in the description so that you can hear about all of my strategies that I recommend to live a balanced circadian life. And last week I talked about rest and how incredibly important I have discovered that rest is, and how rest isn't just passive. Rest can mean taking a walk. Rest can mean reading a book. What rest doesn't mean is scrolling on your phone, though, because when we're seeing new images constantly as we scroll, that's going to be really stimulating for our brain. And so, although we are horizontal and it might feel in the moment more like rest because we're numbing out the rest of the world, it's actually highly stimulating for our brain. And so it's the opposite of rest. And so just thinking about the quality of your rest is really important this time of year as well. My next strategy is warm, grounded workouts. So maybe this looks like this time of the year is when you do more hot yoga or more sauna sessions, or more like when I think of a grounded workout, I think of like weight training, lots of things that are going to generate warmth within the body. So I'm thinking like a brisk walk or lots of mobility work. And so the reason that this type of a workout during the winter is so important is because it's going to help with that fluid movement. It's going to help with lymphatic movement. It's going to help to support that digestive fire that may have slowed down a little bit. It's going to increase oxygen deliverability. It's going to enhance nutrient flow to the skin. And so all of that to say, all of these things are going to help combat the obstacles that we're seeing during the winter that cause our skin to look and feel less than ideal. And then finally, my favorite is just going to be warmth with our food. So for meats, protein can be very drying. And so we want to combat dryness in the winter, and we also want to eat protein. So one thing that we can do is to slow cook our meats. This is going to help keep that moisture intact, and also adding nourishing, beautiful oils like ghee and tahini to our meals. Eating squash and slow roasted root vegetables. I said before, winter is providing exactly what we need to help combat any of the obstacles that we're facing during this season. So what foods are in season during the winter? Squash, root vegetables. These are naturally sweet foods, and that sweet taste is actually moistening to the body. You can listen to the episode I did a few episodes ago that was talking about reading your internal weather. And one of the strategies for dryness is to combat it with these sweet, nourishing foods. And I'm not saying load up on cookies and fudge and everything that you have left over from the holiday season. What I'm saying is these naturally sweet foods are naturally moistening for the body. And it's just so interesting that that's what grows during the winter. We need these building foods during this time of year. So those are all of my strategies for supporting winter skin from a holistic and vitalist lens. If you enjoyed this video, I would love if you would like and subscribe, and then share this with somebody who you think could benefit or find value. Please reach out to me. Let me know what you think. I always love to hear from you, and I will be back next week. So until then, stay warm and be well. You've been listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality. If you like what you heard today, consider giving me a 5-star rating. It helps other people just like you to find the show. You can shop products and find all of my offerings on my website, stratumaesthetics.com, and follow me on my social channels at Stratum Aesthetics.